Two names, two legends, two generations, one nation. For the past 2 decades, there has been only one name that could stop the Philippines in its tracks. Only one athlete who could make 115 million people forget their problems, gather around their televisions, and scream as one. That name was Manny Pacquiao, the 8-division world champion, the senator, the icon, the man who put the Philippines on the global sports map. But something has changed, something unexpected, something that has Filipino fans asking a question that would have been unthinkable just 6 months ago. Is Eala taking over? Is the 21-year-old tennis sensation from Manila eclipsing the legend of the 47-year-old boxing icon? Are Filipino fans suddenly obsessed with not one, but two national heroes? And more importantly, why is this happening right now? Social media is buzzing. Twitter Philippines has seen a surge in debates comparing the two. Facebook groups are divided. Even mainstream news outlets are asking the question. Today on TopSpin, we are diving into this fascinating cultural phenomenon. We are not here to start a fight. We are here to understand why a nation that has always had room for only one sporting hero is suddenly making room for two. For more coverage in tennis, subscribe and hit the notification bell. To understand why this conversation is happening, you have to understand what Manny Pacquiao means to the Philippines, not as a boxer, as a symbol. Before Pacquiao, the Philippines had athletes who succeeded. They had basketball players who made it to the NBA. They had pool champions. They had boxers who won world titles. But they never had anyone like Pacquiao. He was not just a champion, he was the champion. The kind of athlete who transcends sports and becomes part of the national identity. Pacquiao's rise coincided with the rise of overseas Filipino workers, the OFWs who left their families to work in foreign countries. For those OFWs, isolated and homesick, watching Pacquiao fight was not just entertainment, it was a lifeline. It was a reminder that they were Filipino, that their country could produce greatness, that they were part of something bigger than their individual struggles. When Pacquiao knocked out Ricky Hatton in 2 rounds, OFWs in Dubai celebrated in the streets. When Pacquiao defeated Antonio Margarito, despite a size disadvantage, Filipinos in London wept with joy. When Pacquiao was knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, the entire nation mourned as if a family member had died. That is the power of Manny Pacquiao. He was not just a boxer, he was the embodiment of the Filipino spirit. Small but fierce, underestimated but unstoppable, poor but proud. For nearly 2 decades, Pacquiao had no rival for the affections of the Filipino people. Basketball stars came and went, other boxers achieved success, but nobody came close to the love that Filipinos had for Pacquiao. He was elected to the Senate, he ran for president, he was everywhere. His face was on billboards, on television, on the sides of jeepneys. He was more than a hero, he was a way of life. Then, something changed. Pacquiao retired. Not dramatically, not controversially, he simply stopped fighting. He focused on politics, he focused on his family. He faded from the spotlight. And into that vacuum stepped a 21-year-old girl with a tennis racket. Alexandra Eala is not Manny Pacquiao. She is not a boxer, she is not a senator, she is not a rags-to-riches story in the same way. Her family is educated, professional, middle class. She did not grow up on the streets of General Santos City, selling cigarettes to afford food. She grew up in Manila, then moved to Spain to train at one of the best tennis academies in the world. On paper, she is not the underdog that Pacquiao was, and yet the Philippines has embraced her with an intensity that is shocking, even to those who have followed her career from the beginning. Why? First, the timing. Pacquiao is retired. He is not gone. He is still beloved, but he is not active. And sports fans, by nature, are drawn to active athletes. They want to watch someone compete. They want to experience the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat in real time. Eala offers that. Every week she is playing somewhere in the world. Every match is an event. Every win is a celebration. The Philippines, starved for an active sports hero, has found one in Eala. Second, the visibility. Tennis is a global sport. It is broadcast in every country. It has grand slams that the entire world watches. Boxing, for all its glory, has declined in mainstream popularity over the past decade. The biggest fights are on pay-per-view. The biggest stars are aging. Tennis, by contrast, is thriving. The WTA Tour has embraced Eala. She is featured on their website. She is interviewed by major networks. She is treated as a rising star. That visibility has made her accessible to Filipinos in a way that Pacquiao, for all his fame, never quite was. Third, the demographics. Pacquiao's core fan base is older. They grew up watching him. They remember his fights against Barrera, Morales, Marquez, Mayweather. They are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. Eala's fan base is younger. Teenagers, young adults, people who grew up with social media, who watch highlights on TikTok, who follow athletes on Instagram. These are people who love Pacquiao, but do not feel that he represents them. Eala does. She is their age. She speaks their language. She posts behind-the-scenes content. She is relatable. And that relatability has translated into an obsession that is only growing. Now we get to the controversial part, the part that has Filipino social media buzzing, the part that has fans arguing with each other, creating memes, and even, in some cases, attacking each other. The question is simple. Who is the greater Filipino athlete, Manny Pacquiao or Eala? On the surface, this is a ridiculous question. Pacquiao is an 8-division world champion. He has been a professional for over 25 years. He has beaten legends. He is in the Hall of Fame. Eala has been on the WTA Tour for 3 years. She has won 2 WTA titles. She's ranked in the top 30. By any objective measure, Pacquiao's career dwarfs Eala's, and yet the debate persists. Why? Because for many young Filipinos, greatness is not just about achievements, it is about relevance. It is about who is making them proud right now. Pacquiao's greatness is in the past. His fights are on YouTube, not on live television. His victories are memories, not current events. Eala's greatness is happening now. Every time she wins, it feels new. Every time she lifts a trophy, it feels like a fresh injection of national pride. That immediacy, that sense of being part of history as it unfolds, is powerful. And it has led some fans to argue that Eala is already more important to the Philippines than Pacquiao ever was. The backlash has been fierce. Older fans accuse younger fans of disrespect. They point to Pacquiao's sacrifices, his rise from poverty, his willingness to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. They argue that Eala, for all her talent, has not earned the right to be mentioned in the same breath as Pacquiao. The debates have spilled onto Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. Hashtags like Team Pacquiao and Team Eala have trended. Comment sections have become battlegrounds. It has gotten ugly at times, but for the most part, it has been a healthy, passionate debate between two generations who love their country and want to celebrate its athletes. The truth, as always, is somewhere in the middle. Pacquiao is a legend. His place in Philippine history is secure. No amount of Eala's success will change that. But Eala is also special. She is doing things that no Filipino athlete has ever done in tennis. She is inspiring a new generation. She deserves to be celebrated. There is room for both. The Philippines is big enough for two heroes. Here is the beautiful part of this story, the part that the social media debates often miss. Manny Pacquiao and Eala have nothing but respect for each other. In fact, they have publicly supported each other multiple times. When Eala won her first WTA title in Birmingham, Pacquiao posted a congratulatory message on his Instagram. Quote, "Congratulations, Eala. You make the Philippines proud. Keep flying our flag high." End quote. Eala responded with a heartfelt thank you, calling Pacquiao a legend and an inspiration. When Pacquiao was asked about Eala in a recent interview, he said, quote, "She is the future of Philippine sports. I'm just happy to see young athletes carrying our flag. I am her fan." End quote. This mutual respect is not performative. It is genuine. Pacquiao sees himself in Eala. He sees a fighter. He sees someone who refuses to give up. He sees someone who represents the Philippines on the world stage. And Eala sees in Pacquiao the blueprint for what is possible. She has said in interviews that she grew up watching his fights, that she learned about resilience and determination from him, that she carries his example with her every time she steps on the court. This is not a rivalry. This is a passing of the torch, not a fight, a handover. The media, of course, loves to create conflict. Headlines like, "Is Eala better than Pacquiao?" generate clicks. Comments like, "Eala will never be as great as Pacquiao," generate engagement. But the athletes themselves are not participating in this nonsense. They are supporting each other. They are celebrating each other. And that is a lesson for all of us. It is possible to love both. It is possible to recognize that different athletes from different eras can both be great. The Philippines does not have to choose. The Philippines can have both. Let us step back from the debate. Let us look at the bigger picture. Because the obsession with Manny Pacquiao and Eala is not really about boxing or tennis. It is about identity. It is about what it means to be Filipino in the 21st century. The Philippines is a country that has been through a lot: colonization, occupation, dictatorship, natural disasters, political instability, economic hardship. Through all of it, the Filipino people have maintained their spirit, their joy, their resilience. But they have also yearned for validation. They have wanted the world to see them as something more than a developing nation. They have wanted proof that they can compete with the best, that they can produce greatness, that they matter. That is what sports provide: validation, proof, a reason to be proud. Manny Pacquiao provided that validation for 2 decades. He showed the world that a Filipino could be the best boxer in the world. He showed that size and resources are not destiny. He showed that heart matters, and he did it all while remaining humble, grateful, and fiercely proud of his country. Eala is providing that validation now. She is showing that a Filipino can compete in a sport dominated by Europeans and Americans. She is showing that hard work and talent can overcome any obstacle. She is showing that the Philippines belongs on the global tennis map. The obsession is not about choosing one over the other. It is about celebrating both. It is about recognizing that the Philippines has produced 2 extraordinary athletes in 2 different eras, in 2 different sports, with 2 different stories. That is not a problem. That is a gift. Filipino fans are obsessed with Manny Pacquiao and Eala because both make them feel proud to be Filipino. Both remind them that their country is capable of greatness. Both give them hope for the future. So let the debates continue, let the social media arguments rage, but let us also remember that at the heart of this obsession is love. Love for country, love for sports, love for the athletes who represent them. Manny Pacquiao and Eala are not rivals, they are teammates on the same team, the team called the Philippines. And that team is winning. For more coverage in tennis, subscribe and hit the notification bell.